What the? You see it?
What are you seeing?
You didn't see it?
No, what was it?
It was some kind of a figure over there on the ridge.
Minutes ago, they ventured deeper into the heart of Alaska's icy wilderness on a high-stakes quest filled with danger and mystery. Driven by fleeting glimpses of the extraordinary, the team returned to Prince of Wales Island, fueled by a blend of fear and fascination.
What would be up there?
I have no idea. What did it look like to you?
As they delved further into the wild, untouched expanse, believed to be the ultimate refuge for the elusive Bigfoot, their spirits soared with every chilling whisper of the wind. Let us join them as they push through the frosty shadows, where every step could lead to a breathtaking discovery or a heart-stopping encounter. Unraveling Alaska's hidden realm. They had decided not to ignore the area, especially after noticing something unusual in the distance. With fresh curiosity, the team made their way back to Prince of Wales Island, prepared for a more detailed exploration. As they approached the shadowy outline of the weathered ship, a chilling silence descended. Hidden within its mist-shrouded hull were secrets waiting to be uncovered. As they got closer to the island, the excitement grew. It felt like they were finally on the edge of finding what they came for. Alaska, with its wild and endless landscapes, seemed like the perfect place for Bigfoot to live. The land stretched far and wide with almost no roads, making it a true wilderness where few people ever go.
We wouldn't be able to find it in that vast landscape. We have no choice but to get to it first, and our chances of catching something on foot?
The team felt both excited and nervous. Exploring such a difficult landscape wasn't going to be easy, but this area had matched reports of strange sightings in the past. More recent stories from witnesses gave them even more reason to believe that something odd might be going on. It felt like the right time to dig deeper and see what was out there. Locals avoided certain parts of the forest, saying those places were linked to old Native American legends. Some believed these areas were sacred, while others warned they were home to Bigfoot. With so many reports hinting at a possible group of these creatures, the team wondered if they might find signs of a Bigfoot family living deep in the woods. During their talks with locals, the team learned that strange encounters were common on the island. Nearly everyone they spoke to had either experienced something weird or knew someone who had, and all the stories pointed them toward the part of the island where they were now headed. One particularly scary story was about a group of kids on a school camping trip. During the night, large rocks were thrown at them from the darkness of the trees. This made it clear that whatever was out there was protective of its territory and didn't welcome visitors. But the unsettling stories didn't stop there. Some locals also mentioned creatures they called kakagazi. These beings were said to be shapeshifters, able to look like someone familiar to lure people deeper into the woods.
There's the water.
This is a huge find, because if an animal is going to survive in this type of an environment, this is exactly the type of shelter it's going to need.
Well, let's try and look for some tracks.
Not only is this cave a good spot for a shelter, but it's also a good escape.
This added a spooky layer to the mystery, making it clear that following strange figures in the forest could be a dangerous mistake. As the team explored, they found signs that something large had recently moved through the area. Tracks and other marks on the ground made them realize they might not be alone. They slowed down, trusting their instincts and staying alert. In the heart of the forest, the quiet was interrupted by soft sounds of movement nearby. Every rustle of leaves and snap of a twig made them feel like they were being watched. The team paused often, scanning the area for any more clues about the creature's presence. Scratches on tree trunks and bits of fur tangled in branches were carefully collected as potential evidence. The ground also told a story, with large footprints pressed into the soft earth, suggesting that something heavy had passed through not long ago. But the worst part was still ahead. As they ventured deeper into the forest, every noise seemed louder, every shadow more suspicious. It was as if the forest was whispering secrets, warning them, or maybe trying to confuse them. The team knew they had to trust their instincts, for in these woods they were definitely not alone. As we pushed through the wild, signs appear that we're not alone. A frosty pursuit. This is a tricky spot. We've got no choice but to keep moving forward. Yeah, let's keep going. Up here in Alaska, the weather and the landscape are constantly changing, especially as we climb higher on this mountain. This wild weather makes tracking harder, But it might also explain why something like Bigfoot would choose a place like this. Things aren't any easier since our tracking gear gave out about an hour ago. But look, something has definitely passed through here. See these leaves? They're flipped, with the lighter side now facing up. That means something stepped on them not too long ago. But the worst part? Whatever left those tracks could still be nearby. We need to travel light from here. Let's ditch the extra gear and only bring what we need tonight. Maybe just the thermal camera and some lights. That's a solid plan. With all this cold and snow, anything warm-blooded should show up on the thermal camera like a beacon. Let's keep moving and find a good spot to set up. What do you think? Should we check for tracks in the snow? Definitely. The snow's a great tool because it leaves clear footprints behind.
I got Ronnie and Maria on their way on the outside of this lake on both sides. They've actually separated. They both are equipped with thermal imaging.
Wait, do you smell that? Ronnie, what on earth is that? That's a fresh elimination. Wow, this thing must have just happened. When we got closer, the smell hit us hard, and then we saw it. A fresh elimination right here on the ground. Blood is everywhere. Look at these ribs, 1, 2, 3. Judging by the size, this looks like it came from an elk, or maybe a Sika black-tailed deer. No wonder the air stinks so badly out here. But here's the strange part. Look at this broken branch. Both sides snapped clean through. That's no ordinary break. It either got bitten or snapped by something really strong. And check out this bone Ronnie found. It could be a huge clue. With everything we're seeing, the blood, the snapped branch, the size of these bones, this doesn't feel like the work of a regular predator. Something unusual is going on here. A confused voice asked, "What does predation mean?" This kicked off a conversation about dealing with something unusual. The group knew it wasn't just regular wildlife like bears, big cats, or wolves. Their instincts told them that this situation was different, something they hadn't experienced before. One person mentioned finding animal remains in the woods before, but nothing as strange as this, especially near the spot where Bryce had captured a thermal image with his drone. This made them more certain that they might be dealing with Bigfoot.
2 ribs, 3 ribs. I would have to think the size of this rib bone that this is like an elk or the black-tailed deer that's the Sitka blacktail.
Yeah.
After a long, tiring hike through the night, Russell and Maria finally reached the icy river's edge. Strangely, there were no tracks where they expected to see some. Bryce had seen something big moving in that direction with the drone, but now there were no footprints in the snow. This left them confused. How could anything travel through the snow without leaving a trace? When they reached a massive glacier and a flowing river, the mystery deepened. There were no tracks in front of the glacier either. It was as if whatever had been there ran straight into an icy wall. Even without any solid proof, the group stayed hopeful and decided to keep going. They aimed to search closer to the tree line, hoping to find more clues. Then someone spotted a shape moving along a distant ridge. It appeared for just a moment before disappearing beyond the horizon. They figured it might be the same thing Bryce had seen with the drone earlier. As they stood there, they wondered if the glacier could be a perfect hiding place. The deep cracks in the ice and the fact that people rarely came here made it a good place to stay hidden. Driven by curiosity, we head deeper into the icy wilderness, echoes in the glacier. They joked about needing a thick fur coat just to stay warm. While the glacier didn't seem like the best place for a large animal to live, they thought it might serve as a good hiding spot or even a path to somewhere safer. Tracking anything in these conditions was tricky. They knew that many animals are drawn to water, so they followed the river, hoping it would give them some answers. If they were lucky, the water might show signs of life or reveal tracks along the bank. Then they stumbled across something that made their hearts race, a large ice cave. If Bigfoot was around, this would be the perfect shelter. The narrow entrance looked new, like the cave had only recently formed. But it also seemed unstable, as if it could collapse at any moment. Still, it was the best lead they had. The shifting ice inside the cave suggested that it could stretch for miles, offering the perfect hiding place. And even though it was dangerous, they knew they had to explore it if they wanted to solve the mystery. This cave doesn't just give shelter.
This is a huge find, because if an animal is going to survive in this type of an environment, this is exactly the type of shelter it's going to need.
It's also a smart place to hide. Water can cover up sounds, including ours, and any tracks left behind will be washed away. It's the perfect spot for an animal to stay hidden. Ross, can you see anything on the sand by the shore? Look closely. Sometimes even a small sign can be enough to lead us in the right direction. Nothing? That's disappointing, but let's keep moving. But this isn't the worst part. The real challenge will come if we lose sight of it altogether. That thick forest in the distance? If it makes it that far, we might have to call it a day. Can we circle back for another look? Maybe we missed something along the way. It's frustrating not to see anything. This land feels like it's hiding secrets from us on purpose. It's tough, isn't it? We prepare, plan, and bring everything we need, and yet sometimes the wild gives us nothing in return. That's how it goes in exploration. It's not just about finding what we're looking for right away. A lot of it is about trying, making mistakes, learning from them, and trying again. Every time we fail, we get a little better. Each experience teaches us something new. Failure might feel discouraging, but it's how we grow and get stronger. Our journey tests us, challenging our limits in the wild. Learning in the wilderness. If we found the creature easily every time, we wouldn't learn much. Every challenge we face builds our skills. Today, even though we haven't found anything yet, we've already learned so much. We now know how water mass sounds and erases tracks. We've seen how the snow makes spotting movement easier. All these little lessons will help us next time. Even if we walk away today without finding what we came for, we're taking all this knowledge with us. That means we'll be better prepared when we try again. Things could still get worse. If we let frustration take control, it could mess with our thinking and make us overlook important hints that could help us. When emotions run high, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and lose sight of what really matters. Frustration is normal, but if we give in to it, it can slow us down and lead us to make decisions too quickly, often making things worse. That's why staying calm and focused is so important. It helps us think clearly and keep moving forward, even when things feel tough. Exploring new ideas or working through a challenge takes a lot of patience. It's not just about finding the solution right away. It's about understanding that every mistake teaches us something valuable. Even when things don't go as planned, each setback shows us what doesn't work and helps us figure out a better way next time. In this way, each small failure brings us a little closer to success. Every step forward, no matter how small, counts. That's how progress is made, one step at a time. Sometimes when things don't go the way we hoped, it feels like all our efforts have been wasted. But that's not true. Every time we try, we learn something new.
A glacier is in constant motion, and an ice cave like this can form quickly and go on for miles. We have no idea when this was formed or even how stable it is. But at this point, it's the only logical place that an animal would run to from the position that it was spotted.
Even when things go wrong, there are lessons to be found if we're patient enough to see them. If we get too caught up in feeling disappointed, we might miss the good things hiding in a bad situation. But if we take a deep breath and stay calm, we can find the clues that are right in front of us. Setbacks aren't dead ends. They're part of the journey, showing us what to change for the future. But this isn't the hardest part. Frustration can also make us doubt ourselves and feel like giving up. It tricks us into thinking that everything we've done so far was pointless. But the truth is, no big goal is ever reached without a few challenges along the way. Success doesn't come all at once, and it's rarely smooth. It's through struggles and mistakes that we build the skills we need to succeed. Every time we face an obstacle, we grow stronger and smarter. Even when it feels like we're moving slowly, we're still moving forward, and that's what matters most. Progress doesn't always look like big leaps. In fact, it's often the little steps, the ones we barely notice, that make the biggest difference in the long run. It's easy to get caught up thinking about how far we still have to go and forget how far we've already come. But each small win adds up. Every time we try again, even after a failure, we are building towards something bigger. And those small steps create the path to success, even when it doesn't feel like it right now. With night approaching, we weigh persistence against giving up, embracing challenges. The real challenge, though, is learning how to be patient when things go wrong. If we can stay patient, we become more flexible and open-minded. This makes it easier to find new ways to solve problems. On the other hand, if we get too frustrated, It's like we put blinders on and can't see all the options available to us. Staying calm gives us the chance to try different ideas and see things from new angles. It helps us connect the dots that we missed before and come up with solutions we hadn't thought of at first. But that's not even the toughest part. The hardest part is bouncing back when things feel like they're falling apart. This is where patience really helps. When we learn to accept setbacks without getting upset, we grow emotionally stronger. This kind of strength, called resilience, makes it easier to keep going when things get tough again. It teaches us to see problems as temporary challenges that we can handle. The more we practice staying calm, the more confidence we build in ourselves. And the more confident we are, the less likely we are to give up the next time things go wrong. Every effort we make matters, even when the results aren't what we wanted. Patience helps us see the process as a learning experience instead of just a struggle. When we stop expecting things to go perfectly, we take away some of the pressure. We can begin to see each failure as one more step toward success. This way of thinking helps us stick with it, even when things feel slow or hard. In the end, all those little efforts add up, and they get us closer to where we want to be. But this still isn't the end of the story. Success isn't just about reaching the goal. It's also about what we learn along the way. Every time we make a mistake, we grow a little. Every time we get back up after a fall, we become stronger. The things we learn from these challenges help us handle bigger ones down the road. Whether we're exploring new ideas, solving tricky problems, or working toward personal goals, patience is what keeps us moving forward.
Remains of animals in the forest before, but nothing like this. And the fact that this is right in the same area where Bryce got this thermal image on the drone.
As long as we keep learning, trying, and growing, we are always on the right path, even if it doesn't feel that way right now. So even when things don't seem to be going your way, don't give up. Remember that every step forward, no matter how small, is part of the process. Each time you try again, you get a little closer to the result you want. Patience isn't just about waiting. It's about trusting that all the hard work will pay off. And as long as you keep moving, learning, and adapting, you are making progress. Success might not happen all at once, but it will happen one step at a time. Exploration isn't just about success. It's about learning and improving along the way. It demands patience and persistence. Sometimes the wild feels endless, and it can be easy to get discouraged. But the real rewards come from sticking with it. When we finally succeed, it will be because of everything we've learned from days like this one. But the hardest part hasn't even come yet. The hardest part will be deciding when to stop for the day. We don't want to give up too soon, but we also can't keep going forever. It's a tricky balance. For now, let's make the most of the daylight we have left. The creature could be just beyond those rocks, hidden in the shadows, or it might already be far beyond our reach. What do you think? Is the thrill of the chase worth the potential risks? Comment below, like, and subscribe to join the discussion and not miss future adventures.